So, the satsangs which we do on every Wednesday, we take up a topic and then we discuss, and everyone share their insights, and we go deeper so that we can see from where the problem is coming. And the focus is primarily not to solve anything, rather to look into it. And this week, as we see, our topic is very, very relevant and important: how to break patterns that no longer serve you. Most of us are living with a pattern. We have something, sometimes we are not aware of that pattern, and most of our life is not lived consciously as well, and it is repeated. So, pattern is something which we keep on repeating, same and same. It could be anything, it could be anger, frustration, anxiety, or any activity, any response without taking a pause. It could be anything. So the same emotion, the same reaction leads to same inner loops, and that creates a pattern. वो एक हमारा स्वभाव बन जाता है, बार 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 हम लोग वही चीजें बार बार रिपीट करते रहते हैं. So before we open our conversation, I would like to invite you for a question. Have you ever noticed you decide something but still end up doing the same thing again? For instance, I've seen people जो कहते हैं कि हम समय से आएंगे. एक छोटी सी बात है, किसी को जैसे कहीं पर इनविटेशन है, कहीं पर जाना है. So for let's say we have to reach by 5 in the evening, and they commit कि हम 5 बजे आएंगे, लेकिन कभी भी वो 5 बजे नहीं आते. They come 5:30 or 6, or maybe when dinner time is there. So it is not कि वो आना नहीं चाहते, बट एक पैटर्न है, एक लूप बन गया है. सेम रिएक्शन, सेम इमोशन, एंड दैट inner loop is creating a pattern in their life, and they end up doing the same thing again and again. So this is just an example, and that repetition is what we call a pattern. So let us take a moment and look within. If you feel like closing your eyes, you can close your eyes. If you just want to reflect, you can. It's up to you. And just look within and ask yourself this question: have you ever noticed you decide something but still end up doing the same thing again? So take a moment and you can share in the chat. Okay, there are so many responses. Often land up doubting others with their actions, behavior, conduct, and words. Serious trust issues. Patterns of taking on work without consciously understanding what the load is and then getting overwhelmed. Every time I am asked to do something, I get very agitated, even though without anyone asking, I keep doing that for them. I've noticed it is becoming more and more difficult to control my anger. Yes, we usually behave on a pattern. Honestly, I don't decide much and go by the pattern since I know our patterns are hardwired. I accept as having the pattern of this time management example. I decide and want to be consistent for being on time at a place, however, fall short of few minutes. Miscounting in uncertainties, etc. Procrastination habit takes over at times. I think I had a pattern and I was able to break it. I wanted to change my perception of life. I did it earlier. Now I do want to change a certain pattern and work in progress. Don't ask me what. I'm quite a spontaneous person, taking on work for other people that they should be doing. Okay. Okay. All right. Now let's go a bit deeper. When this happens, what do you feel inside? जब एक ऐसी सिचुएशन होती है और आप देख पा रहे हो उस पैटर्न को, तो क्या महसूस होता है उस टाइम पे? What do you feel inside? Now let's go from mind to emotion. Think and then share. Irritation, anxious, feeling of overwhelm, frustration, right? This kind of feeling we experience. I feel normal, neither overwhelmed nor underwhelmed, since my focus is usually task, not emotion. Helplessness, apologetic, fatigue, feeling of being cheated, betrayed, not loved, not cared, self doubt, pain, and unbearable emotion. Earlier, I used to feel guilty. Now I know this is present and decide to correct it next time. No emotion attached, just plan for action. Okay, so those who are feeling any emotion of anger, frustration, or overwhelm, or whatever it is, now let us see this more deeply. Have you seen this pattern before in your life? Okay, sometimes you have seen, sometimes you don't remember. But most of the times in relationships, in childhood, these are repetitive patterns. So basically, a pattern is not just a behavior, it is a conditioned way of responding to life, be it anger, overthinking, seeking validation, withdrawing. The problem is not that we all have patterns. The problem is we think that we are the pattern. That's where the problem begins. So now let's take a moment and close your eyes and think कि जब हमें पता होता है कि ये पैटर्न है हमारी लाइफ में एंड दिस गिव्स अस पेन फ्रस्ट्रेशन एंगर और व्हाटएवर देन स्टिल व्हाई वी आर कैरिंग ऑल दैट क्यों हम उसके लिए कुछ एक्शन नहीं ले पाते लेट्स थिंक ऑन दिस एंड कंटेम्पलेट इस पर विचार करते हैं थोड़ा सा once you're done you can raise your hand and I'll invite you to speak.
Namaste, everyone. Good evening. The reason we are not able to break that pattern is for sure our past experiences. That's the core basis of us not being able to break free. Past experiences. Maybe we've experienced similar situations, shortcomings, limitations in the past. So first is limitation. Second is fear of failure. So if I attempt again, there is a high possibility that the positive element is missing because of my past experiences. So I am living in fear of not being able to let go, that this could be a new perspective, a new line of thinking, or maybe I can attempt to give it a chance and it doesn't happen. That's the way I look at it, experience and fear. Thank you.
Okay, नेक्स्ट कॉल बोलना चाहेगा.
बहुत सारे रीजंस हैं और पॉजिटिव भी नेगेटिव भी बट जो मैंने सोचा कि जैसे टू टेकिंग ऑन टू मच वो मेरा पैटर्न है कि हर वक्त ऐसा लगता है कि ये भी कर लो वो भी कर लो. तो जब मैंने थोड़ा डिटेल में सोचा तो कई बार ये होता है कि वॉट यू आर डूइंग यू आर लविंग इट टू मच सो यू वांट टू डू एवरीथिंग और फिर उसमें गड़बड़ होती है बिकॉज यू गेट स्ट्रेस्ड एंड देन द क्वालिटी ड्रॉप्स एंड आप सब कुछ नहीं कर सकते. तो एक तो ये है कि बहुत जो काम कर रहे हैं अच्छा लग रहा है इसलिए कर रहे हैं इसलिए और या कई बार ना नहीं कह पाते. किसी ने कुछ करने को बोला तो ना नहीं कह पाए कि उनको कैसा लगेगा और इतने प्यार से पूछा है तो कर देते हैं. तो दैट प्रेशर. फिर कई बार ऐसा भी होता है अब नहीं होता वो पहले होता था. फियर फोमो फियर ऑफ मिसिंग आउट अगर मैंने ये नहीं ज्वाइन किया कोर्स या ग्रुप या कोई एक्टिविटी तो आई मिस आउट. तो ये पहले होता था अब थोड़ा सा ज्यादा वो कॉन्शियसनेस आ गई है कि
दो लोग बात कर रहे हैं और वो कान में बात कर रहे हैं बता नहीं रहे तो कुछ एंजाइटी होने लग जाती है व्हाई दे नॉट टेलिंग.
यस यस।
ऐसा लगता है कि हम उसमें नहीं है, कोर ग्रुप में नहीं है,
हाँ
यू नो।
हाँ, और थोड़ा सा आई फील इनडिसिप्लिन भी। अगर हम प्लान करें या हमारा पर्पस बहुत ज्यादा क्लियर हो कि हमें ये करना है, तो फिर हम डिस्ट्रैक्ट नहीं होंगे कि ये भी कर लो वो भी कर लो, फिर आप वही चूज करेंगे जो कि आपके पर्पस से अलाइंड है।
ओके। Yes, Neha, you are joining for the first.
Yeah, I'm joining for the first time.
Welcome.
Garimaji introduced me, and it is wonderful being here. So for me also, the problem is the same. The first one, the lady she spoke. Sorry, I'm bad with names. So again,
Jagjit.
Jagjit ji, yeah. So the problem is, yes, fear of being treated the same way all over again, because my fear was that if I'm asked to do work and if I just, okay, I agree to it, people just keep coming back with more and more, to the point where it start affecting my health and everything. So many a times I try to like, okay, karke dekh le, and I managed to finish it. But it seems like people don't stop. They don't have any break. So out of my anger, and my anger is my way of keeping me safe mechanism. Ki वो नहीं रुक रहे हैं तो मैं उनको धक्का मार के बोल दूं प्लीज स्टॉप। नहीं सुन रहे हो तो आई गेट लाउड ऑल्सो, बट इनहेरेंटली आई नो इट हर्ट्स मी अ लॉट। मतलब गुस्सा करके मुझे बहुत बुरी फीलिंग आती है। आई डोंट फील अपोलोजेटिक कि मैंने उनके साथ मिसबिहेव किया है, बट माई एंगर हर्ट्स मी। सो दैट्स व्हाई आई डोंट लाइक दैट पैटर्न पर्सनली। सो दैट इज माई थिंग कि लोग मेरे साथ वैसे बिहेव करते रहेंगे अगर इफ आई डोंट आस्क देम टू स्टॉप।
Actually, anger is like holding charcoal in your hand and you're giving punishment to some other person. It's like that.
Actually,
Yeah.
rightly said. Very true. Very
Mm.
true.
So didn't you feel like that I should love myself and why should I waste my time, energy on them? Did you feel sometimes?
That is there. That I really, matlab, I am doing a lot of things for myself for quite a while now. But somehow that's again अब वो pattern का ही outcome है कि I'm put into this situation like मेरी joint family थी. Fortunately, my husband got a job opportunity. We moved out of Delhi and we went to Pune. We were having a pretty quiet life. Then something happened at my parents' family, and even knowing that it was not good, I just came back. And now I'm like for 3 4 years, I'm like I've put myself in the same loop when I was actually out. But हाँ मेरे लिए situation ऐसी थी नहीं कि मैं उसको avoid
Mm.
कर सकती. It would have costed me much more than मतलब मेरी peace of mind को maintain करने ज़्यादा. But फिर वही लग रहा है कि यार have I consciously invited the same pattern in my life all over again, जिससे मुझे opportunity मिलती बाहर जाने की. पर वो एक you're right कि I want my peace and I उसकी तरफ मैं थोड़ा meditations और joining मतलब listening to certain people
But
I
you know, the
do.
good thing is that you could see it. That's the very
Yes.
good thing because many times we are not even aware and we are just in this circle and we are repeating same and same and same.
So मेरे को लोगों से प्रॉब्लम नहीं होती है. They
Mm.
are treating me in a certain way. मेरे को अपने पे लग रहा है कि as you said चारकोल पकड़ के दूसरों को पनिश कर रही हूँ. My hand is also getting burned. I don't want my hand to be burned. That is what
Mm.
I seek now. कि मतलब अ, करूँ ना करूँ काम, गुस्सा ना करूँ बस किसी तरह.
Mm.
बस पर जब वो इंसिडेंट जैसे कोई कुछ बोलेगा and I got so agitated. आप खुद नहीं कर सकते हो. Why? मतलब don't you see I'm overburdened already? Why are you just putting it on me all over? You know, वहाँ
Then
पे.
you are, I think, then you are at the right place because यहाँ पे हम सब लोग मिलके उस पैटर्न को ही देख रहे हैं. And when you
Right.
realize that this is the pattern, then I think you will start loving yourself more and more.
I would love to do that.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, who's next? Jay, would you like to speak? I've never seen you, so today let me see you. Uh, sec. Yes, Jay.
Okay, yeah, hi, good evening. Yeah, like I had a pattern, like, so I had a very bad pattern for like I used to have a schedule where I used to stay up in the night and would get up in the morning and do some stuff. So my bad pattern was to keep sleeping cycle. So there was time like 1 to 3 or 4 months, like I used to sleep for 4 hours like that. But I understand that would harm my health and all. So that way I changed it and I'm following a good routine now. Yes.
Good.
Hello, Guruji. Hello, everyone. So, first of all, thank you so much for this topic. It is like the topic which is, forces us to think on so many patterns. And absolutely, there is no one pattern for me. There's multiple pattern, different fields. If I talk of relationship, a different pattern. And now, but this one that you brought it up earlier, and that is one of the patterns that I have. I've been trying to correct it for a while. वो जो time management वाला है, and so it's not that I don't want to be in a certain place, or it's basically initially I'll be at ease, आराम से सब काम, will be धीरे धीरे आराम से at my own pace. I'll continue doing things, and suddenly when it's time to leave, then I'll be like rushing, and then I fall short of counting on uncertainties. So I'm just bringing that.
Actually, unfortunately, there are only 24 hours.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's.
So we have to be in that limit and do.
And I always plan, okay, if I would have started, earlier only on that same pace,
Mm.
then that would have been much better. So, but yeah, I just talked of this one pattern because I'm working on this one recently. I mean, currently. That's all.
Okay. Okay.
Pranam, everyone. Uh, it's good to hear everyone. It's good to see new people also. Regarding this topic, I remember my first exit interview from a professional organization. I was called by the CEO of the organization, and that meeting ran for around 30 minutes. And I remember each and every word. And the gist of the matter was, Deeksha, you're too emotional. Like on the scale of 0 to 10, in the sense of emotions that one should use in professional life, your emotions are at 12. So since that guy was IIT IIM, तो मुझे लगा नहीं इसका फीडबैक तो लेना भी पड़ेगा. तो मैं थोड़ा तभी संभल गई थी. And this is many years ago, several years ago. And that guy and me, we are still at good terms, despite the fact that it was a heated kind of meeting. But he said that, Deeksha, you're very emotional. तो मैं अपनी personal life में as well as professional life में, in terms of emotions, that was, the feedback given to me early on, and I'm happy for that. So, remembering the fact that earlier I used less of the filter in speaking, in thinking, in analyzing others, in taking care of others. If I have to help somebody in professional life, I'll go overboard to help that person. तो मैं शुरू में ही थोड़ा संभल गई थी. So I thought that emotions have to be checked, and especially in professional life, one has to be optimally emotional, and task must be finished. So these two things I took care of in my professional life as well as in personal life also. I am task oriented. काम होना चाहिए, ये इमोशंस इमोशनल ड्रामा इधर उधर सब चलता रहेगा. तो ये पैटर्न मेरा बहुत पहले ब्रेक कर दिया था और बहुत अच्छे से ब्रेक हुआ था. Now it's like I'm not too emotional, and I probably don't feel things from the very core, which is again a little unhealthy. तो लाइफ बड़ी अच्छी चलती है, आपकी शादी नहीं टूटेगी, आपकी जॉब नहीं छूटेगी, लेकिन आप कहीं ना कहीं थोड़ा सा सत्संग में जरूर रहोगे. तो I mean, I don't feel that much now, and I've stopped myself from that, being a deeply emotional state. That's it.
Great. Very
So
nice.
these satsangs help me in regulating my emotions again. That's
Very
it.
nice. Great.
Thank you.
Okay. So what we can see is in repeating unknowingly, unconsciously these patterns, we suffer. And we don't suffer because of the situation. We suffer because of the pattern we bring into that situation. And life is not repeating. You cannot touch the same water again. It's a Zen proverb. But our respond, the way we are responding, that's same. So the analogy which came to me is, if you cannot touch the same water again in the river, how can you respond the same way again? So I tell you something about myself. A few months back, I was in my office in my university, and someone came and I was speaking something. I was uh, that person was asking about what I'm going to speak in a public talk, and I was just sharing my insights. Then immediately, maybe he was thinking something else. Then he said, Can you repeat once again?" So I said, "No, I can't repeat the same thing again because that moment has gone. Now, whatever I will say, it will be totally different because I don't prepare my speech. Whatever comes, comes. Truth, harsh, smooth, easy, whatever it is." So many times when we are out from these patterns, when we are open and receptive, and when we are connected to the nature and the beauty around us, we just flow. And in repetition, what I have experienced with myself, when I saw so many patterns in me, it gave me a very uneasy feeling later on, a feeling of regret. Why did I do that? That kind of a feeling. And later you think that moment was not at all good. But when you start working on yourself and when you just flow and become easy, and when you become flow and easy, I mean, when you connect with the source within and when you love yourself more and more, what I was telling Neha. So when you become more and more loving with yourself, we think to help others. किसी को हेल्प की जरूरत हो या ना हो, हम बहुत हेल्प करना चाहते हैं विदाउट आस्किंग दैट पर्सन कि उसको हेल्प चाहिए कि नहीं चाहिए. पर हम अपनी हेल्प कभी नहीं कर पाते. ये प्रॉब्लम आती है सबसे ज्यादा. और इतने ज्यादा मतलब हमको सब पता होता है, बट स्टिल फ्लाइट में जाते हुए अनाउंसमेंट भी होती है कि दूसरे की हेल्प से पहले अपना मास्क लगा लें. बट वो वहां से भी एक इंसाइट नहीं आती कि हेल्प योर सेल्फ फर्स्ट. सो बिकॉज वी आर नॉट फोकस्ड इनवर्ड, तो यहाँ का छोड़ के बाकी सब चीजें हम देख पाते हैं. बट वेन वी आर कनेक्टेड विद द लाइफ, वेन वी आर कनेक्टेड with what is, then there is no repetition in life. Then every response is different. So between response and stimulus, there is a pause. We have to connect with that pause. And the more we become aware of our true self, and the moment you see a pattern clearly, then you see, I am not that. There is a separation and fragmentation between this and the pattern when I see. So that separation itself is the liberation. So what we can observe cannot be me, right? If I see this phone, that is not me. If I see this tablet, iPad, this is not me. If I see this pattern, this is not me. If I see this emotion, this is not me. When people say, I'm angry, you cannot be angry. You are feeling an emotion which is anger. Because I am Satchitanand, right? My existence is bliss. How can I be angry? My existence is loving. How can I be in fear? Right? How can I be in frustration or overwhelming or whatever? It is that forgetfulness of our own being, that we don't know who we are. So, self remembrance, reminder is a realization. And you already know it doesn't help when you see that pattern, yet it continues. This is unconsciousness. So, the journey is to become more and more conscious. Every activity, when we perform with more awareness, with more conscious moment, then we liberate. बट बहुत लोग बोलते हैं कि ये तो मेरा नेचर ही ऐसा है, मैं ऐसी हूँ, मैं ऐसा हूँ, बोलते हैं. So basically that is not my nature, because you have repeated that several times. That's how that unconscious behavior says कि मेरा behavior ऐसा है. वो basically बोलना चाहिए कि मेरा behavior ऐसा है, हम बोल लेते हैं कि nature ऐसा है. बिहेवियर वैसा होता है, नेचर ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. नेचर तो बहुत पवित्र है, प्योर है, लविंग है. So difference between the behavior and the nature. So when you don't see the pattern, you will call it your personality, your nature. And your whole life you fight, you defend between the two. So slow everything down, and in that slowing down, you can see with clarity. So now let us do one practice, but before that, I can see Tarana here. Let me add you to the spotlight. Yes, please go ahead. Oh, one sec. You are on mute. You may like to unmute yourself. Yes.
Let me just check. Can you hear me? Can everyone hear me? Okay. Hare Krishna, everyone. Very nice to be here. Thank you for the invitation. I've purposely been just absorbing what everyone has been saying over here, but I just wanted to add one thing. What you said right now, I think is very, very important, because most important thing is to be aware and to be conscious. First of all, like you told, I think it was Neha ji that you told before, that the most important thing is to be, the very fact that she's aware of the pattern, that itself is one step higher. And I just wanted to share, a small thing that happened like 2 days ago with me. I was just about falling asleep, and you know how sometimes in relationships relationships stay, they don't stay, we get upset, we don't get upset, all of these things happen. But we tend to, talking about patterns, we basically tend to repeat, a similar kind of thought all the time. That thought keeps coming. So even that becomes a pattern if you think about it. Now, I was falling asleep the other day, and suddenly I realized that the thought has come back again. And how you said, stillness, there's a pause basically between stimulus and response. I actually, at that point in time, and it probably sounds strange for me to say this, but I was just falling asleep, and I could see that actually there was no thought over there. Actually, there was no thought. What my mind has done is actually like literally gone and pulled that old thought from there and put it over there. So I literally pulled, you can see that it's coming from outside, it's not coming from within you. because somewhere we are scared of that void. We are scared of that emptiness. We are scared of, I can't see, so that clarity is not there. So we keep sort of pulling these either negative thoughts or repetitive thoughts or whatever it is to come and fill that space where actually we should learn to be more comfortable, or accept that, understand what is happening. And I guess that's the pause, and understanding the pause and being conscious of the pause, and probably that's what helps you to identify and probably stop it. I know this helped me, so I'm just sort of sharing it over here.
No, very true, very true. And I think this is the first hand experience. And when we fall asleep, in that moment, we have an opportunity to convert that sleep into a meditative quality of sleep. So this is actually the first step. I'm glad that you could share this. So this is the first step when your mind is empty, when there are no thoughts, and you can actually see how your subconscious mind, which has stored so many emotions, thoughts, and patterns, how that subconscious mind is bringing that on the surface. तो जब साधना करते हैं, जब एक साधक होता है, जब वो नई नई साधना करता है, उस साधना के जो उसकी चर्या होती है, दिनचर्या होती है, इन दैट पैटर्न धीरे धीरे वो देखता है. इवन वी सी इन दिस बुद्धा's एनलाइटनमेंट स्टोरी एज वेल. ही सॉ दैट मारा, जो वो एंगर आया, लस्ट आया और ग्रीड आया और बहुत कुछ आया. दोज हु हैव नोन दिस स्टोरी, आई एम श्योर. तो वो जो मारा है, वो जो इल्यूजन है, वो जो माया है, जो रियल में एग्जिस्ट नहीं करती, लेकिन वो आती है बीच बीच में कुछ क्रिएट करने के लिए, आपको भ्रमित करने के लिए, टू ब्रिंग दैट डिल्यूजन. Watching that in sadhana is the first step. Not interfering between your practice and that emotion, and understanding that there is a discrimination between that and this identity. The moment we see there is a distinction between both, that itself is very, very beautiful feeling. That is very, very beautiful feeling. And that feeling gives us a deep understanding. वहां से बहुत कुछ हमें समझने का मौका मिलता है. So actually we all can try this. When you sleep at night, ये सभी कर सकते हैं प्रैक्टिस, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट भी है. At that time just see how your mind is running away. और जहां पर वो जो तराना ने भी बताया कि void महसूस करते हैं और उसको हम देखना नहीं चाहते, कहीं ना कहीं हम उससे भागना चाहते हैं. That's also part of escapism. We don't want to see that. वही सबसे बड़ी गलती रहती है. वी हैव टू जस्ट बी प्रेजेंट. और यही वही पैटर्न रिपीट होता रहता है जिसकी आज टॉपिक पे हम बात कर रहे हैं. उस पैटर्न को देखने के लिए वो मोमेंट बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. दैट इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. अगर वहां से ठीक करना तो क्या मतलब, वो तो अपने आप होता है. यू कांट डू इट, यू हैव टू बी विटनेस. देन यू कैन एक्चुअली इंप्रूव दैट मेडिटेटिव क्वालिटी. कई बार ऐसा होता है कि हम सोते हैं और बहुत अच्छी नींद आती है सुबह, और हम रियलाइज करते हैं कि वाह व्हाट एन अमेजिंग स्लीप, जबकि हम स्लीपिंग जो टाइम होता है वो छोटा होता है. कई बार ऐसा होता है हम 8 घंटे की भी नींद ले लेते हैं, वो ड्रेन फील करते हैं. वाई? बिकॉज ऑफ दिस. क्योंकि जब कुछ चलता रहेगा, एक्टिविटी, कुछ काम चलता रहेगा, तो डिस्टरबेंस क्रिएट करता है, एनर्जी ड्रेन होती है. सो दिस इज इट. सो थैंक यू Tarana for bringing it. Great. All right, so let's do some practice in the end. And I'm glad that we had beautiful conversation today. So from mind to silence is the journey. So we all have used our mind in discussion and contemplation. So now is the time for taking a pause and slow down. And let's go inward. Gently, you may close your eyes and just become aware of your breath. Now bring to mind the pattern you saw today and be with that pattern. Don't try to change it. Don't judge it. Just see it as if it is something happening in front of you. Now take a pause and see you are not inside the pattern. You are the one who's seeing it. Stay here for some time. If you feel like letting go, then you may like to just gently let go. For a moment, don't hold it, don't fix it. Just allow it to be and let it pass. Relax completely and just become easy. Now rub your both the palms, put it on your face, and with a smile, a very gentle smile, you can open your eyes. So, and we can share this smile with everyone. Smile is very contagious. You know, when I go to the classroom and when I interact with students, I simply say one thing, that smile while looking at each other. And there are boys who do not smile. There are boys who do not smile. So I ask girls to look at those boys and smile. Then they smile a lot. So boys are more shy, maybe. So awareness is the beginning of freedom. The moment you see, something begins to change. And today we have seen. And I believe that we should continue this topic and we will go deeper and deeper, because this is not something we just do tick in the box and just move on to the next topic. So if you feel that we should continue this topic, then we can do that. All right. So let's end this satsang today, and we shall meet on next Wednesday. And those who are joining for the first time, if you feel like joining next time, then most welcome. Your presence is beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Namaste.